guys, and welcome to another video. My name's Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor, and in today's video, we're answering one of the questions that I'm asked all the time. Should I refinance and then insert asset here? Sometimes people ask me about their home, sometimes people ask me about their investment properties, other times I've even got a chap who asked me about a supercar. And I think that this is something that I want to address and make sure I put out a general rule of thumb that will apply to almost every circumstance, and then you can take that on board and decide what's right for you. Now, before we get into the video, if you could possibly give it a big like, massively helps me out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We give away the dividends from our dividend portfolio every single month, and we are eventually, hopefully, when we get to 100,000 subs, which we're on the way to, aren't we, Nick?
Yeah.
Give away an investment house. So, guys, thank you so much for all your support. Let's get into answering that question. Should I refinance, insert asset? So, first of all, I think it's really important to remove all emotion from this. I think when people ask me, should I refinance my home, it really is their home, and there's a lot of emotional attachment to that. But I would urge everybody to remove emotional attachment and decide on things, especially when it comes to money, commercially. Just looking at the figures, just understanding what you can get out and what that can then do for you. So, first of all, should I refinance? Now, there's a few things you need to bear in mind. Number one is the interest rate. So that's the percentage that you're going to pay on the refinance. So if you're looking at refinancing, for example, a house, it can be anywhere from 1% to 3.5%, somewhere in that sort of region. If you're looking at refinancing a supercar, it's going to be somewhere in the region of 6 to 7%, something in that sort of region, having recently done a video on supercar finance. I know it's somewhere in that region. So first thing to understand is what the interest rate is going to be. Now, the second thing you need to understand is what the fees are going to be. And these are quite often fixed fees. For example, if you do a refinance on a house, you're going to pay for solicitors. You're going to pay for the mortgage arrangement fee. You're going to pay for the valuers. There's lots of things that are going to happen regardless of what you're doing. Now, I would say, for example, if you're looking for solicitors fees, it's going to be between 1 and 2K. If you're looking at valuation, mortgage fees, all that sort of stuff, again, 1 to 2K. So you could easily see that being 2 to 4K in fees alone. Now, there are also things called ERCs, early repayment charges. So if you're in a fixed term mortgage, and let's say, for example, you've got a £300,000 mortgage, and it's a 1% fee to end that term early, which quite often it'd be something between 1 and 3%, then you would need to pay a fee of £3,000 to end that early. So you've got to work out whether it's all worth it. Now, how are you going to work out whether it's worth it? The whole question is, should I refinance? And now we know the costs, we need to know the upside so that we can make the informed decision, right? So I'm just going to wipe all of this off quickly, and I'm going to start with the formula that I use every single time, okay? And the formula is really simple. It's, is the amount that I can make, i.e., is the ROI greater than the interest I'm going to pay, plus fees? So, let's say, for example, you're going to refinance that property, you're going to get £100,000 out. And on that 100K, you could make, let's say, a 10% return on investment. A pretty standard single let sort of return on investment. You're going to get 10K per year. Now, let's assume that 100K of refinance is also going to cost you, let's say 2%, let's take somewhere in the middle. So that's going to cost you £2,000 per year in interest. So you need to bear that in mind. So the profit on that is 8K. Now, everybody would say that's a no-brainer really, isn't it? And the reason is it doesn't take into consideration risk. With all of these things, risk is also a factor. So if you purchase a property and it goes up in value, obviously you make money. But the risk would be that if you purchased a property and it went down in value. Now, let's say, for example, we buy this single let property, we're looking to make 10K per year, but we fail to get a tenant in timely fashion. Well, that's a risk, isn't it? And therefore, we would still have to pay this guaranteed interest to the bank. So this 8K profit that you have here is essentially, in capitalist terms, payment for your risk and effort. I think it's really important to take a full view on this. Now, when I get asked, should I refinance on what I'm doing, Well, actually, I'm actually thinking that interest rates are at record lows, and I think it's a great time to be buying. In fact, today I've had 2 offers accepted on 2 flats. So I'm buying at speed as well, and I'm refinancing everything out of the things that I own in order to fund those purchases. I'm able to get anywhere from 8 to 12% on a single let, and that's a true return on investment. And for HMO, I'm getting 15 to 25%. And again, absolutely fantastic returns on investment. And I'm securing loans, HMOs 3.5%, and on a personal buy-to-let, I got 1.59 recently, which is absolutely incredible. The spread between these two numbers is huge. There's so much profit in it for me at the moment. But I am a big believer that there is also a risk. I moderate and manage my risk by making sure I have paper assets and liquid cash to be able to see myself through any downturn. So I hope this really gives you a good idea of should you refinance. I think you have to take a view. Can you make more than the interest rate you're going to pay, plus whatever the fees are for you to do the deal? Now, if you can, you should move forward with confidence. If you don't feel that it's worth the risk, then you definitely shouldn't refinance. That should be the definitive answer. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again on Friday. Thanks so much, guys.